to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. We are inching up on that 5:30 mark this morning, and today's date is Friday, May 2nd. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmol for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, Megan, the last few days when I've been driving to work, it's been a little foggy, but this morning seemed pretty clear to me. How is it looking out there?
Well, you're on the right track. It's definitely a lot less foggy than it was yesterday. I know we saw some pretty dense fog. We even had a dense fog advisory as we went into your Wednesday. But for today, here's what we're looking at. Seeing the most dense fog as you're traveling towards Harlan. Now, just like the past couple days, though, even if you see that 10-mile visibility, you could still see in patches of fog, especially if you're driving in higher elevation with those low-lying clouds. So be safe on the road this morning. Here's a look at the live pinpoint Doppler radar, though. Nice and clear. And we're going to keep on this trend of not seeing any rain for just a little bit before those rain chances pick up this afternoon. Current temperatures are in the 60s, starting to warm up as we go through the next couple of hours. See a couple cities still hanging on in the 50s, but this afternoon we'll all be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Once that rain moves through, though, that's when we'll start to see those temperatures dropping as we head into your Saturday. Here's a look at that breakdown as you're heading into the afternoon. High temperatures will hit around that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock mark again in the upper 70s and low 80s. Caroline.
Megan, thank you. Nearly 3 months after the February flood poured through the region, Pike County shoppers and store owners are left with empty buildings and unanswered questions. But officials say for one of the hardest hit shopping centers, hope is on the horizon. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has the latest on the plans for the plaza.
The debris has been removed and most of the Weddington Plaza has been gutted as Coal Run officials prepare for the next steps of flood recovery.
It's historic flooding. We've not seen something like this since 1977. We don't expect to see something like this really again for quite some time. We certainly hope not.
Mayor Andrew Scott says the section of businesses which was hit hard by the February floodwaters is seeing progress, with work underway to bring the businesses back.
And that's what's happening. There's a remodel that's going on right now. Most of the businesses who are here are coming back. All of the major retailers, as far as I know, are coming back.
With one major business already up and running.
Planet Fitness has already reopened. They were our first business to reopen. And businesses are going to continue to reopen in a rolling manner as their sites are ready.
Officials expect the larger stores like JCPenney, Save-A-Lot, AM/PM Spirits, Wine and Tobacco, Sherwin-Williams, Cato, and Shoe Department to reopen in the coming months, saying those official announcements will be up to the stores.
There's a couple businesses, of course, that have decided to relocate elsewhere because they really needed to continue their business during the downtime, and we understand that. But there's existing businesses that also want to expand.
Some of those businesses, like Ivy Gray and Men's Corner, have reopened in new locations, while others like New Day Nutrition and the UPS store are working on relocating. But Scott says plans are already in place to fill the spots those stores are leaving once the spaces are ready.
Well, keep in mind this is an extensive remodel because what you've got to do is you've got to pull out every bit of drywall, you've got to do the mold remediation, you've got to do all that. You've got to do all that to certain standards before you can move the tenants back in. The work has been well underway. The progress is coming along smoothly. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Recovering and reopening, one day at a time. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Scott says he encourages folks to keep their eyes on the plaza and plan to support the businesses as they reopen in the months to come. A bipartisan resolution aimed at undoing the wide-ranging tariffs from President Donald Trump in early April failed in the Senate. With a 49-49 split, the tiebreaker came down to J.D. Vance. He sided with the majority Republicans. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul was just one of 3 Republicans who voted with the Democrats.
While I like Donald Trump, support him, I think tariffs are bad for Kentucky, and I'll continue to oppose them.
And I think the president's been very clear. This is his call, which means the economic harm that's being caused is directly attributable to him because he's owning every decision on this.
There are leaders of Kentucky's national delegation who praise President Trump's use of tariffs. Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr, who represents the 6th U.S. District, has repeatedly said tariffs on countries such as China, Mexico, and Canada have protected American workers. A dispute over a dog ended in gunfire in Whitley County Wednesday night. Deputies say a man was shot in the leg following a verbal argument on Sutton Mill Road in Woodbine. Whitley County Sheriff's deputies responded just before 8 p.m. Wednesday night and spoke to the victim at the scene. The shooter has not yet been identified, but the case will be presented to a grand jury for possible charges. A traffic stop in Laurel County led to a drug arrest Saturday night. Deputies with the Laurel County Sheriff's Department pulled over a car on Kentucky 770, about 9 miles south of London. During the stop, the car's passenger, 42-year-old Amanda Carr of New Richmond, Ohio, was found with some suspected methamphetamine. She was arrested and taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. Carr is charged with possession of meth. A Kentucky man who claimed a multi-million-dollar lottery prize this week was arrested in Florida. James Farthing talked to reporters Sunday after he and his mother, Linda Grizzle, split a $167 million Powerball jackpot from a ticket bought at Clark's Pump and Stop in Georgetown. According to an arrest citation, Farthing was at a hotel in Treasure Island on Tuesday night when an officer tried to intervene in an altercation. That's when an officer says Farthing kicked him in the face. Farthing is currently on parole for charges in Kentucky. Court records show convictions of tampering with evidence, engaging in organized crime, drug charges, receiving stolen property, and theft. He's being held on a $10,000 bond. A man has been found guilty in a drug trafficking case in Rowan County. Attorney General Russell Coleman announced that 55-year-old Moses Wright was convicted of trafficking cocaine after a jury found him guilty earlier this week. Investigators say Kentucky State Police found a locked suitcase with a kilo of cocaine worth $160,000 hidden in a van Wright had driven to a home. The jury recommended a 7-year sentence. The Boyle County Sheriff's Office says they prevented an elderly woman from being scammed out of thousands of dollars. Deputies say they received a call Wednesday after the woman withdrew $24,000 from her account. The scammer told the woman there were federal law enforcement needing money. The office luckily got in touch with the woman before she could deposit the money into an ATM.
Anytime the federal government calls you or talks to you, you automatically think, you know, I've got to do right.
Officials urge folks to be aware of new scams like this one. They say if someone pressures you to act in secret or say it's an emergency, it is probably not real. Some Kentucky school districts may be left to cover millions in project costs after a shift in federal funding. State officials say the federal government is not reimbursing certain COVID-19 relief funds, including money that was designated for school upgrades. In Knox County, that could leave the district on the hook for more than $1.5 million.
When you're talking that money, it would have to come out of our general fund, which is the fund we pay the electric with.
The state asked federal officials to reconsider on a case-by-case basis, but districts like Knox County are still waiting for answers. After years of planning, UK Healthcare officially opened a new obstetrics emergency unit. The 24/7 unit is designed for pregnant and postpartum patients experiencing urgent conditions, including preterm labor, high blood pressure, and bleeding. It takes the place of the old OB triage center and aims to deliver faster, more specialized care.
They should expect to see a provider really quickly when they come. They should expect to be able to get care quickly and have us work through the process of making sure that everyone is healthy.
The unit is located on the 3rd floor of Pavilion H at Chandler Hospital.
We're looking at temperatures this morning in the 50s and 60s, but by the time we head into the afternoon, we'll see that warming trend and we'll look at the 70s and 80s. Now, this is the last time you'll be seeing temperatures this high until next week. So enjoy them if you like those warmer temperatures. We're going to start off clear for the day. Live pinpoint Doppler radar seeing maybe a little bit of a pop-up shower in Scott County on its way to Campbell County this morning, but we're clear until we head into the afternoon. Here's a look at that dog walking forecast for today. We have sunshine set in by Cyan. You'll start the day nice and clear, so maybe go ahead and take your dog out for a walk. But by the time you head into the afternoon, that's when we'll start to see those chances of some showers popping into the forecast. So make sure you're being careful if you're taking your dog out today. Stay with us. More about news and weather is on the way.